Lighting is critical because it affects the way you see things, how you see them, and in certain scenarios, how you feel. Smart lighting, it's about how you live. Today, we're talking centralized lighting. Chris, let's start. All right, so as we're talking centralized lighting, these are the type of things that you want to consider early when you're in the architectural stages and the design stages. That's when fixtures and lighting and lifestyle things should be considered. In this scenario, this was a little bit different. We came into this home a little bit later in the construction. We were not able to design early. However, beautiful thing is the homeowner is actually the architect. So once we met, we started talking ideas. We started talking how to clean up these walls, and she loved the idea of doing cleaning up some of the wall acne. Originally, we started, to be transparent, it was supposed to be maybe like 10 loads. So we were doing a little bit of dimmer farming. Dimmer farming is basically when you do wireless centralized lighting. You put wireless dimmers here and a multi-button keypad downstairs, and you control them. As we started walking and creating more and more designs, she realized that this is something that she wanted as part of her lifestyle. So we decided to do the entire first floor. Well, there's a lot of shades, there's a lot of loads downstairs, there's a lot of pieces of equipment downstairs, so we needed a lot of control. Everything downstairs was then rewired to up here. The way centralized lighting works is you actually send cables from your panel to the load, and then you send power from your patch panel to here. Not your patch panel, sorry, your electrical breaker box to here. From there, you actually use multi-button keypads on the wall, and that's how it works. All right, so let's get to the details. I'm not gonna go into specs and some of the names that I'm gonna use for these products. It's going to be made for our consumers to understand it. So all of our Control 4 installers, don't beat me up on the comments. Some of these names are going to be different than what you're used to purchasing. But the way centralized lighting works is that you have dimmer and switch models, two type of modules. One is going to give you the option to dim stuff up and down, and the other one is technically an on and off from 0 to 100. Those are the type of modules that you have. You do have some 10 volt and for triggers and relays and other stuff, but in this scenario, we're gonna focus on the 110 stuff. You have a dimmers and switches. Each of them is going to control up to 8 loads. This doesn't mean 8 fixtures, this means 8 loads. So if you walk into a room where your chandelier is a light, your drop downs is another light, and then you have sconces or something. Those are 3 separate loads, so that will take 3 separate slots on the dimmer modules. From there, all of this we pre-designed before we got to this point, but once power is ready to go, basically, we plug them in and get them set up for testing. That's currently what we're doing right now. This is a scenario where we've had 2 different electricians work on the project. The original electrician wasn't comfortable with centralized lighting, so we got one of our partner electricians to come out and bring this project to the finish line. In the process of testing, you know, when you come behind someone, your workflow may be a little bit different, so there's a few things that we had to test and confirm before these racks, cabinets were actually installed. All those cables that you see over there on the left, technically, let me take that back. Majority of that stuff is for audio video, for the TVs, for the cameras, for the Wi-Fi expansion. However, this video is not about that. There is some lights on that side that are low voltage cabling that's being used to control the linear lighting that we have all over the house. That lighting basically has a transformer that is going to be housed here. Through that low voltage cable, we power the linear lighting that could be downstairs, that could be behind one of these cabinets, or even at the front of the house. One thing that I want to point out is this house has an amazing curve appeal, and it's something that you want to see because we haven't done anything like it. All right, so this is not centralized lighting. As I mentioned, in this house, the first floor and the linear lighting is what was part of the centralized system. The second floor, the third floor, those rooms and areas have a couple of wireless dimmers to control a light in the room, but more than anything to extend the Zigbee signal of the system. Once again, there's different ways to approach it. One of the things that I want to point out is that not everybody does things the same way. A lot of the times depends on what stage of construction you were involved. So in our scenario for this household, since we came in a little bit late, we didn't want to redraw the entire electrical. So one of the things that we did is our actual keypads are not low voltage keypads. They are wireless, high voltage 110 keypads that are not connected to a load. Downstairs, this is on the first floor. I'm giving you all this information for a reason. The centralized stuff is on the first floor, but here on the second floor, one of the things that we're doing is we are installing, which hasn't been done yet. These are going to be wireless wireless forward phase dimmers and adaptive phase dimmers for control 4 to extend the signal from the third floor to the second floor and then to the first floor. I wanted to bring you into this room because it's a beautiful room, and this is where we're gonna do the centralized stuff. As you can see, in the construction stages, guys, this is a home that we have a tight deadline. Some of our stuff we're actually doing a little bit early, speaker installation, some of that stuff. But let me not get ahead of myself. Today we are talking centralized. I gave you a rundown of what this this is how downstairs was supposed to look like. Now, let's go check it out. Sorry to interrupt your video, but I had to drop in an ad to let you know that we are giving away this Ava remote. If you didn't know, we uploaded some videos with instructions. It is a free giveaway, so you can get in for free. And we also have a way for you to enter and get more entries. Shop with us, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. So in the foyer of the home is usually a high traffic area and also a place where you're gonna have a bunch of switches. In this scenario, originally we had 3 different exterior lightings here. We also had foyer, entryway, and coming up the stairs. So this was gonna be a bank of 6 switches right here. First thing that you're gonna see when you walk into this home was a bunch of switches. This was one of the first places where we decided we were gonna do some wall acne cleanup. So what did we do? Here, there's a 110 power load. It's not connected to any of the switches. This is actually a wireless keypad that's sending the signal from here to the second floor and then to the third floor. And that's what's going to control the centralized lighting. Once again, there's multiple ways to approach it. We are very, very big on Controls 4's Zigbee reliability. Their lighting is extremely strong, it's reliable. And in this scenario, this is a place where you can actually come into the home, hit some scenes, welcome, turn on the lights, turn on the kitchen, start playing music, goodbye, hit a goodbye button, turn off all your lights, turn off all your music, set your alarm, and then 5 minutes later, lock the door. Let's check out the game room. So here is another place where we installed a multi-device. This is the game room. This is the room where there's gonna be a big 133-inch short-throw projector display with 2 55-inch televisions. In this room, you don't want to come in and start sending a bunch of different commands, so you can actually come in, hit game time, TV's going to turn on, lights are going to turn on, the other TVs are going to turn on to whatever pre-selected channel you want, and with one button, you not only activated your lights, but also your video scenes. This is another example of where we can use a room off button, right? You can click room off, turn off all the lights, turn off all of your television, and then leave. Think about that. You don't have to control things separately. This is just some of the examples on how to use the system. This specific room is a 5.1 surround sound. So there's a lot going on in here. From there, we can control shades, we can control channels, we can control speakers, we can control anything that we want. Obviously, all the user interfaces, like the iPhone, your tablet, your T4, your remote control is what's meant to be used as part of the audio video, but you can integrate shortcuts and scenes from the wall to where you, your friends, or anyone can come into a room, press a button that makes sense because it says party, and boom, you start the party. All right, so y'all gotta excuse the loudness of what's going on out here. It's full construction sites. But one of the loads that I wanted to bring up is the tree load, because this is going to light up the entire backyard. This smart home was built around this 200-year-old live oak tree. And basically this masterpiece was put together around that. The centralized lighting for this will be connected from upstairs. Time scenes, pre-triggered, activating scenes, motion scenes, whatever you want, you can do with the centralized lighting systems. And in this scenario, that is a wrap. Today's video was centralized lighting during construction. I appreciate you for tuning in. Come back for the next video because I'm gonna give you a full wrap up of what we've done here, and you gotta stay through all the way until we're done. Thank you for tuning in today. Subscribe, Have a great day.